Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Here to do a relatively brief review of Westworld Season 4. The start short of it, I don't know if I've talked too much on camera. I wrote something in the blog after I'd watched, I think, the first season. The first season, I'd never seen the movie. I'd never seen Future World, the sequel, either. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And then I did. I remember the time the show launched, and I didn't have access to HBO and all that stuff. And I read about how people loved the movie, and the movie probably exceeded my expectation. It was really good. I love that movie. I'm not like a top 10 movie, but it's really good. You know, Yul Brynner, Richard, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name, but anyway, of course the Future World. I think it's underrated. It has Peter Fonda, and I think a female actress that's pretty well known too. But you know, I think it's overlooked a little bit. I think Future World, even though it had its flaws, they go to space and stuff like that. The things with the robots and stuff like that, with the androids, came out like in the late 70s or like 1980. I mean, that could go for a remake. If it went, I'd be really curious. Future. Oh, that's right. They did remake it. It was like sort of with James. What's his name? It was terrible. It really was a remake. James Franco. But anyway, so the show launched, and I got into it. I mean, and it was done by. I mean, J.J. Abrams was like a producer on it. Lisa Joy and the guy who did The Dark Knight, the trilogy of Dark Knight movies. It's his brother. Well, though he's not British. It's just weird. Maybe they're like half. Jonathan Nolan. Anyway, I liked it, although certain people or characters I liked more than others. Sadly, you know, like Evan Rachel Wood's character Dolores, I liked her, but I grew to not like her really toward the second season, really. And Tessa Thompson's character, I believe was introduced in the second, I think she was introduced in the second season, I've pretty much always not cared for. I mean, you're supposed to hate her, I guess, but I always felt like she was too young to be playing a CEO of the organization, Thanos or whatever it's called. Delos? I forget. Delos. But I did watch the second season. The first season was good. I mean, you know, Jeffrey Wright was really good. Ed Harris was really good. Anthony Hopkins, you know. So I was totally. I mean, it was this story like similar to the idea of the movie with the robots in the park in the Old West and stuff like that. I thought, you know, it got a little trying to understand reality and do they have AI or consciousness, all that stuff. Take yourself offline. Oh, whatever. That was done well enough where it didn't get overdone. James Marsden, I really liked too, the Teddy character. In the second season, well, they introduced some cool aspects. There were still some new characters that did well. Thandie Newton. Thandiwe Newton. I don't know how she pronounces her name. Thandiwe. The Maeve character. I've always felt like the Bernard character and the Maeve character were my two favorites. She was really featured in the second season, but I felt like the second season was getting kind of convoluted, and I wrote some long-winded diatribe about this. It's like, you know, you guys are kind of, it's like the way Lost got to a point. It's like you're bringing up too many questions and not answering them. But you know, it ended, and then it took a couple of years because they make this show. It's like there's a lot of money put into this show. It's usually every 2 years at least. The third season came out right when COVID started, and so I was like, you know, I'm not crazy about what Westworld did last season, but I'll watch it because it's COVID time, and you know, it's right when Better Call Saul, the last season 5 was out. I associate in that Michael Jordan, the Bulls, like the Last Dance thing was on. But I didn't love the third season. They at least were outside the park trying to. But again, they were really twisting perspective and understanding who's what. They brought on Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, of course, most well known Jesse from Breaking Bad. He plays Caleb. He's a human, but it got to the point where literally you're wondering if almost anyone could be a host. So, and it was. I don't think they involved Jeffrey Wright enough. That was part of my beef with season 3. And while they sort of reinvented Evan Rachel Wood's Dolores character, I still wasn't really rooting for her. I went from rooting for her the first season, the second season not. She seemed like, not evil, but bad, And the third season, she had this other agenda, and, I thought she had died. And at the end of it, spoiler, we thought she had died. But of course, that's with Westworld, no one's really fully dead, it seems like. One of the actors I really liked in the first 2 seasons, I think it was the first 2 seasons they had, was Jimmy Simpson, who played the young version of William, the younger. The fact that he didn't return, maybe he was only on the first season. It was the first and part of the second season. Anyway, I love Ed Harris as William or Men in Black, but I've always missed him since he left. But the third season I was kind of indifferent to it. Again, sort of like what to watch. If it's there, maybe I'll watch it. I know the characters. I'm a little curious where they may try to twist and finally end this. Is it going to be a train wreck? Are they going to lose themselves? So, but it was a couple of years. We're not going to see it for a few years anyways. Forget about it. So then it finally, it was like very little advertising. The trailer came out in late April or May or something like that. Then it launched it, and I was actually really enjoying the 4th season that just happened, just finished. The whole thing with where all the hosts especially, or most of them, have gone to the Sublime or whatever, which they're going to have a 5th season likely, maybe a 6th, but more likely just a 5th. But what ends up happening at the end of this 4th season here, all these characters are basically gone, other than you have Caleb's daughter. Caleb technically, but Caleb's not Caleb. Caleb is a host. But Caleb's daughter and her, but most of the humans, and then you have Tessa Thompson's character, which in the 3rd season, she actually, they showed the origin of her, which, like a lot of the characters in the show, like Bernard was Arnold. I actually did like the character she played, the original, like the creator, what she was based on. Charlotte Hale, whoever Charlotte Hale was originally. But she's evil. She's very much. I'm gonna create this world, and it's the only way to do it. But so she's kind of gone. And you have Bernard gone, basically. All these people are gone. Maeve gone. At least in what we think of as Earth, as the actual real air based world, life on Earth. And I guess they're gonna try to reinvent it and bring it back to the actual park. I was hoping that with talking about Future World, they would actually consider. They're going to move to go into space. They haven't brought that. They haven't introduced that. So, my expectations and my passion for this show is just mild. I like it. I'll still watch it, but I'm not massively disappointed if something doesn't happen. I just think, and the finale was. There were a few episodes this season I thought were good where we didn't know what was going to happen, revealing, Caleb's daughter, that kind of thing, being older, and who's a host and who isn't a host so much. Everything with Ed Harris's character, he's locked up, and you have him basically being a host and trying to. I don't know. I like the fact they were in the real world more, that part, but it was still kind of hard to believe given the fact you have Dolores, or what she's playing, Christina, I think it is. It's basically all of her making, and then she erases her memory, or hides her memory of it. And basically what they're going to lead to is this Sublime with Dolores basically being the central character again, and whether it's going to be good or bad. If they bring some of the characters back, if they didn't bring Anthony Hopkins back, I doubt they will. In the Sublime, it could, maybe Jimmy Simpson will come back. I'll have more appreciation, I think, probably. I mean, I'm still curious on how they're going to end it. Again, it might be 2 seasons, more likely just one. So, anyway, what's your take on the Westworld finale? If you've seen it, spoilers. Sorry if you haven't seen it yet, or are you a Westworld fan? Do you want them to do involve space like I was talking about? There was another thing they were going to involve. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a good show. It's an expensive show. There's a lot of work, a lot of people that go into it. I mean, I appreciate the sort of craftsmanship, the art, all the on-site filming, and advances in how futuristic it looks. That part of it, I just wish we could get more backstory, more origins, and more sort of, I wish we could get more kind of, I don't know, more kind of twists that we're not seeing yet. And right now we're still. I'd like to see a timeline a little bit like Better Call Saul. So. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'll see you next time.